Alright, at first glance, look, it comes with a humongous, very heavy-duty, hard plastic case. I don't know all the contents inside of it just yet. We're getting ready to open it up together and look. The only thing that I've personally seen so far outside of this big old box that it comes in is the tablet itself. But a friend of mine, an employee that I work with, Joey, is letting us borrow this so I can do a full review of it, see if it's something that I might be interested in later down the road. So together, let's just open it up and check it out. Alright, so at first glance, you can see that they carefully placed everything inside of this hard, heavy-duty case. They didn't want anything to go wrong here. They got the tablet secured down by a heavy piece of Velcro, as well as the VCI pod or dongle, mind you. Now we got a couple of different accessory and adapter cases that we're going to open up and check out together. Again, I haven't really checked it all out. So let's start up here at the top, and we'll work our way back down to the scan tool itself, and then we'll check that out together. Alright, so opening it up here, you can see that it comes with a whole bunch of different adapters. Let's check this out. So right here we have a Mitsubishi Hyundai 2012 and 2016 adapter. So they got a couple different adapters here for that. We also have a VW Audi -2 or +2 connector. So depending on which one you're working on, it's got the two different adapters for that. And then of course plugs into the scan tool. I'm guessing we're going to check that out here in a second. We've also got one for Mercedes. We got another one for Mercedes, which looks like he's currently in use. We got a Kia, a Nissan, a GM and Daewoo, a BMW, Chrysler specific. This is prior to 2016. I'm guessing there's different pinouts. Let's just pull one out here and check it out for a moment. So down here you can see that they've got a different couple of pinouts locations. I'm not sure if that's just because on certain Chryslers that they had incorporated one thing over the other. But it looks like you take, obviously, the male end into the female end, you plug that in like so, and then you would plug this into the DLC port. And I believe that's going to be the same for some of the other adapters that it has as well. Let me put this one back here real quick. For instance, here's a Honda. This is a -3 adapter, so it's a 3-prong adapter for Honda. I'm guessing that probably has to do with some kind of OBDII function or port. And then of course you take the VCI pod, plug it in, and then attach. See, if I push and hold this button, can I power the dongle on by itself? Doesn't appear so. Looks like you actually have to be connected to some kind of 12-volt battery source. I was just curious because it had a power light indicator, so maybe that's letting you know when it's actually on. They have a car button here, or a light for the car to let you know when it's connected. And it looks like when it's searching or you're out of range, it's got a little snake right here. We'll plug this into a vehicle and check that out in a minute. Let's go ahead and open up the next case. We'll close this up for now so we can do so. Flipping up this lid, what do we got going on in here? So we got, looks like the charge pack. We did charge this up on Friday before I brought it home. I haven't plugged it in. I didn't know that it was still on when I came home. It's almost the end of the day and it's Saturday, and let's just see what kind of battery life we can expect. This thing is still on. The green light's still actually on. So if I lightly tap this power button, you'll see that the screen's still on and we're at 85%. I haven't actually done anything outside of swiping it on to see what the actual main lights and everything look like. Haven't plugged it in, haven't even really played with it, just went into the Diagnostic Suite. At first glance, you can see that it does have a service. You can do oil life reset, electronic parking brake, looks like BMS, so that has to do with batteries. You can do brake bleeding, DPF, emo keys, so you can program keys, injector, I think that might be the buzz test. There's a SAS, so that does airbags. Suspension, I believe this is where you can go into rodeo mode. If you haven't seen what that looks like, go to the Facebook page, check that out. This might be a throttle relearn. Looks like yeah, what you got. So if you got a window, so if you have windows or moonroof or sunroof, looks like you can activate and deactivate that. Seats, you can test that. Odometer, the lane change. On some vehicles they have that lane change thing. I don't remember how exactly it works. I just was barely starting to get into that before I left the dealership. Headlights, you can change the tire size. So if you decide to upgrade your tires, like if you have a Jeep and you get a lift kit, you upgrade your tires, you can change the tires in the vehicle so that way it knows how to run, to change the gear ratio or something. There's something to that effect that you have to let the vehicle know that you change the tire so it doesn't prematurely wear out you know, the transmission or the rear ends or something like that. I think I've heard of that before, so that's actually kind of a nice feature. And then of course they got TechLearn. I believe this is their education suite that you can go into to pick up and learn more information. Go back. What's this digital inspection? Inspection camera not connected. Okay. On the back of this there is a camera though. So if you want to take pictures of vehicle damage or rodent damage under the hood, or maybe you got a burnt up cam or something like that and you need it for service information, you can take a picture of it, and because this is pretty much like a computer, you can put your email suite on here, email it to yourself or the service center. There's a calculator, Adobe Reader. I mean, it's got all kinds of different special features and functions. You can go to the internet itself, so if you're on the fly repair and you have access to internet or you hotspot your phone, if you're unsure of a certain diagnostic troubleshooting or something like that, you can actually go onto YouTube, look it up, watch the procedure, whether it's on Scanner Danner or Diagnostic Dan or South Main Auto or whatever. You can go on there, check it out, watch their video, see what it was that they did, and you can get other support. You got a sound recorder, so if it's making a funny noise, you can record the sound that the vehicle's making at the time of its drivability issue. You got a photo gallery, you can go back, save files, clocks, download. I guess you can even put music on here if you wanted to. Nothing further with that. So we'll just go back into the Maxi Suite for now. Let me go ahead and grab the VCI pod. We'll plug this into a vehicle and we'll go into the Diagnostic Suite and see what some of the live data and PIDs and things like that look like. We'll just play with it a little bit. Alright, any rate, we're checking out the Autel MS906TS, which up here in the top you'll see the little TPMS indicator. That's because there is an antenna up here in the corner, so if you needed to code, relearn, or find TPMS sensors, like if you have a TPMS sensor fault, you could do so utilizing this tool. We're in a 2013 GMC Sierra 1500. We're going to go into the Diagnostic Suite for GM specific, so let's connect. Alright, we're going to do an auto ID. Manual transfer case. No. I don't freaking know. No, not a navigation radio. Up level radio, I don't know. Basic radio. Automatic HVAC. Jesus, titty fucking Christ. With trailer brake. Holy crap. Finally, Jesus fuck. Diagnose. Didn't we just do the fucking auto scan? God damn it. One eternity later. Good freaking God. Okay. What do we got? What was the trouble codes? Read. I thought we just established this by doing a health check. I'm not exactly sure why I still have to go into it. Tell me if it's got a fucking code. God damn it. Live data. Jesus fuck. Okay, so we got engine, automatic transmission. It's like camshaft position, actuator cooling, cruise, power takeoff and traction, cylinder deactivation, electrical theft, evaporative, exhaust, after treatment, fuel trim, heated oxygen, ignition, induction, instrument panel, misfire, throttle control. What are some special functions? We can do a fuel trim reset, so that's kind of cool. Service bay test, throttle position, idle learn reset, oil life reset, crankshaft relearn, power balance. We can do power balance test, cylinder deactivation test. We can enable the fuel trim. Engine speed control, fuel injector balance, fuel composition reset, heated O2, and throttle sweep. Okay, that's kind of cool. What's active test? So we got AC relay, so we can command the relay on or off. That's kind of cool and unique. Not a lot of scan tools have that, but the higher end ones that have it, it's a pretty cool feature to have, especially if you're trying to see if you got a problem down there at the AC compressor. Loop status, so if you want to know if you're going into open or closed loop, you can see what that is. Idle spark, malfunction indicator, generator or alternator terminals, looks like we could check that out. Fuel pump relay, so you can actuate the fuel pump relay. Fan relays, you can retard the spark, misfire, graphic, EVAP, starter, heated O2s. Cool. We don't need to go into any of the other stuff really. Escape. Alrighty, I kind of got the gist of what this thing's got. Alright, so my final thoughts on the Autel MS906TS. A little bit too busy for me, really. I'm just being honest. Look, I think it's a great tool. I know that he paid quite a bit for it. Of course, he did buy it off the truck instead of buying it from Amazon. Amazon price-wise, I think it falls into a fair category as far as pricing. I think it's about $1,200 or $1,300 if I'm not mistaken. I remember Bruce Allen had just mentioned that in a previous post that I had, but Joey did tell me that he paid around $2,500 for it on the truck. So initial thoughts, by looking at the box, playing with it, not having it connected to a vehicle, pretty cool. I mean, pretty wicked. It's got, like I said, camera, it's like a laptop, it's a diagnostic tool, it's a picture camera, it's a voice recorder or noise recorder. It's got some training simulators on there. You can connect very easily to the internet for training modules and things like that. You can program keys, you can program TPMS with it. So if your primary job is, let's say, like a lube or tire tech, where most of the things that you're going to do is like ABS bleed, steering inclination reset, oil life reset, TPMS coding or reset or troubleshooting, I think this tool is phenomenal. As far as my initial thoughts when plugging it into a vehicle, I thought the boot up time was absolutely ridiculously long. I mean, I think it took me like 4 or 5 minutes to actually even get into a diagnostic suite of the vehicle. At first I was thinking, okay, cool, push 1 or 2 buttons and I'm all done. I mean, this thing was asking me a lot of questions, so I guess you really got to kind of know the vehicle first of all before you can actually plug into it and diagnose any kind of fault, because that's what it's after. And even after I answered all the questions to the best of my ability, even after that, when I did the health check, my God, it was like another 5 minutes just waiting for the health check to get completed, which seemed like it took twice as long as the Snap-on ones that I've used. It's taken twice as long as any of the C-reader tools that I've used over the years. And even some of the lesser versions of Autel, I've used some of their cheaper or sub-model ones. It didn't seem to take half as long, but this one, for whatever reason, maybe it's the amount of software it has in it, just took an ungodly amount of time to get me any kind of information that I might have needed for a health check. Any rate, enough of my rant. Look, 2.5 to 3 stars at best, okay? There are far better scan tools out there that can do just as much, if not more, with half the amount of headache in setting up the initial setup. That's all I got for this video, guys. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't like the tool. I'm sure it's a great tool. I don't like it. So, that's all I got for this video. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.